Jam podcast.
Hi, I'm Bran, and I love When Calls the Heart.
Hey, it's Pant.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
And
Yeah, you do. Come on now.
I like it. When Calls the Heart.
I'm Dan. This is my happy place. I despise When Calls the Heart, and this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Oh, man. It's good to be back in Hope Valley, baby. We're going to go to the saloon. We're going to go to the schoolhouse. We're going to go to the church. We're going to go to the mercantile. Yeah. Oh, man. Season 5, y'all. Someone dying this season, baby.
No, who?
I don't know. I don't think he dies in the finale.
Finale.
I got my jammies on. I'm talking about the finale. No, I think he dies like with a few episodes to spare.
But they do get married, and
They do get married.
Wow, there's a lot that they're going to pack into
They get
this.
married. They do the dirty, and then he dies.
Baby Jack.
Baby
What's
Jack.
the dirty?
You know,
All right.
They hold hands.
that's exactly right.
That's the Hope Valley dirty.
That's the
Hope Valley
I
dirty.
saw Hope Valley dirty live. Wouldn't recommend it.
Nope.
Got a clip. Ding 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 da doo doo da doo. Got the king ding da doo doo ba doo.
Hope Valley dirty. Hope Valley now. Hope Valley dirty. Gonna say wow. Hope Valley dirty. Don't get too close. Hope Valley dirty. Oh no. Hope Valley dirty. Go to the mercantile. Hope Valley dirty. Go to the saloon. Hope Valley dirty. Oh, there's a baboon. Hope Valley dirty. One time for
Go
you.
little M.
Oh, yeah, I like it. Sure, I like it when it's credit. I like when it calls the heart. It's really awesome.
So you know what's great about that, aside from nothing, is that you just called him Little M. And earlier, the last time we mentioned him, you called him Young M. His name is New M.
Absolutely.
Is it the same guy, or are these three different guys that sound roughly the same?
We have New M on the line, and I hope that he can get to the bottom. New M, you there, buddy?
Yeah, what's up, man?
How you doing, New?
Oh, you're killing it.
Now, this is not me. A lot of people might think, Bran, you're messing this up. Like, how dare you do that to New M? But it's not me. This is how you are credited on the tracks.
Yeah. There's been a little confusion out there, right?
So, yes. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, so I go through different stages, right? Like, I'm evolving ever. Like, sometimes I'm young, but sometimes I'm new. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel it?
I'm evolving ever?
Yeah, he's evolving.
You're
ever.
ever evolving? Is that what you meant?
I'm evolving ever.
So, this is on purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
So, depending on how you're feeling,
Yeah.
you're either new, young, or new, young. What was the other one, Dan? New, young, little.
Yeah. New M was the original. Since we've gone little and young.
Yeah. I'm changing. I'm transforming. I'm like a butterfly. Gonna fly away.
All right. I'm like a bird, I only fly away. I don't know who New M is. I don't know who New M is. All right.
Well, it's good to be back in the saddle for When Calls the Heart. Am I right, guys?
You guys ready to talk about this?
Be in all day to get there.
Season 5.
Is there any way that I can get out of the rest of this with time served?
No.
Figured I'd ask.
Season 5, episode 1.
2.
Yeah, it just depends on
It's
who you ask.
episode 1 after the movie.
Yeah, the movie.
IMDb listed at 2, but it's 1.
It
It's
just
a season premiere.
Now,
Yeah.
we've seen the movie, right? And
Yes.
we reviewed it.
It was
years
the tree,
ago.
the Christmas
tree.
the Christmas giving tree.
Yeah.
In the middle of town. They put it up in the middle, and one guy, Bill Avery thinks it's weird, and everybody else thinks this is a normal thing to do.
Yeah, no, I remember now.
And we hated it.
What's the name of this episode? Think about the things that are happening in this episode, the clues that you might get.
Johnny got his gun.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Redemption.
I don't think you watched the right episode.
When Calls Redemption.
Ooh, that's good.
You started with just redemption. One word title, and then you went with When Calls Redemption.
Good news. It is a one-word title,
Wow.
and it's called Believing.
Oh, yeah.
Even they're getting lazy. They're just like, why don't we call it Believing?
It originally aired on February 18th, 2018, right around the time I was starting to think about, maybe there's a podcast somewhere. This episode was good.
Wow. It's cool that we can really pin where we're at.
Yeah, man, where were you when Believing aired? And it went a little something like this. Abigail is going to head out of town to testify on behalf of Gowan in hopes that he gets a lesser sentence because Abigail consistently forgets that Gowan killed her husband and her son. Bill is going with her, so he asked Lee if he'd be sheriff. And he's like, I don't know how to do that. And he's like, oh, what's the worst that could happen? Apparently not much. They're about to leave, and Elizabeth's sister Julie shows up, and it's like, did someone say car crash? I'm here. There's this random dude that comes to see Carson, and it's like, my tummy hurts. And Carson is like, I think I should operate. Just kidding, he doesn't say that. But if he did, he should run because he killed his wife with the operation. Remember that? Good times. But when more people come about the tummy problems, he's like, mischief's afoot. Julie tells Elizabeth that she wants to be a teacher, and Elizabeth is like, you're a failure. You'll never be a teacher. Carson catches wind that there's a traveling salesman named Lou.
You mean Marvelous Jim?
Yeah, yes, I do mean Marvelous Jim. And believe it or not, he's selling a miracle tonic.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I call it a marvelous tonic. But the miracle tonic is giving people tummy aches. Julie joins Elizabeth for a day of school, and she's bored out of her mind. Who can blame her? Until art time. Art time's fun. Carson decides that the best course of action would be to get rid of the wagon altogether, so he steals Lou's wagon. So Lee arrests Carson, and everybody walks behind him like they're in some sort of music video. And they're all mad at Lee because they're like, what if we need a doctor? And Lee's like, you won't, you're fine. Lee then tells Carson that he'll drop this whole thing if you'll give, Lou says, I'll drop this whole thing if you give me back my wagon. And he's like, hard pass. So Lee takes both of them and puts them into jail cell together to work this thing out. And they do. Lou basically says that the tonic is garbage. It's basically just to help people believe in themselves. And Carson's like, well, I can help you do that with some nice herbal remedies. And it makes you think, maybe Paul wrote this. Maybe Paul Green wrote this.
What? No.
Could have.
Could have.
The judge then, she goes on the stand. She testifies that Gowan's the okay guy. And people, keep being like, maybe he's not. And Gowan is sentenced to 10 years from the judge that only gives the hardest sentences, but does credit him with time served and puts him on immediate probation. And Lori's over there like, man, where was this judge in my life? And that, my friend, was when calls the heart believing.
That was nice. You got it in there.
That was brutal.
With that, everybody, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on Deck the Hallmark. Hey guys, we're back. When Calls the Heart, Season 5, Episode 1, Believing.
Every time I think that the foreshadowing with Lori Loughlin in this show can't get worse, she's literally a personal character witness for a man who's the worst.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Just fantastic.
It's great stuff.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it every time I say it, you can just
Well, you don't
on.
have to say it. You can
That's
just
true.
do it.
That's true.
You can do it.
But I decided to say chef's kiss. Yeah. That's going to be great. I'm excited at what you guys have gotten yourselves into.
Let's go to the hot
That in
take.
and of itself is chef's kiss.
Let's go to the hot take. Let's share exactly how you felt about this movie, episode of television. Panda?
Yeah.
Season 5, we're back, baby.
Listen, as soon as I got into it, it felt like I was back home.
Yep.
And I instantly wanted to leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? It wasn't grating until Lee and Rosemary stepped onto the scene, and as soon I forgot about them. I honestly forgot, and it's unfortunate because once they stepped on, it was oh no, I forgot. And we're back. And listen, this episode, not a lot happens. and Gowan is a good guy now, and somehow
transformation complete.
Somehow he has served no time and somehow gets time served, and I don't understand.
It is the ultimate wait what of the year. It should be in everybody's hot take. He serves no time and gets time served.
And
it's fantastic. It's just fantastic.
I just don't understand.
I mean, time served maybe 3 days. Was he like arraigned?
Like they're just like, we'll call it even 10 years. That sounds about right. And no one even mentions the fact that, you know, there was genocide of an entire town at the very beginning. I'm just at a loss, man. Like, it's When It Comes to Heart season 5, and I'm glad I get to do it with you guys. That's all I got. That's my hot take.
Makes one of us.
Guys, I gotta be honest. I'm glad to be back.
Stop it. Stop it.
I'm glad to be back. I will say this: there are a few. I have a lot of fun writing the synopsis for this show, so there's that. It was good. It was just good to be back. It was like me and back was more friends. Where again, the stakes could not be lower, and it's just exciting. And you know, just Jack's still not back. Jack's still gone. There's no Jack in this episode.
They're clearly mad at this guy.
It's just unbelievable.
They're clearly mad at this guy.
And you know what? Yeah, like Elizabeth is barely in this episode.
Yeah.
They're just kicking off season 5, and they're like, man, let's give Carson the biggest role in this with the tonic boy.
Now, Elizabeth, your sister's going to be in town.
Your sister's going to be in town.
I think I am genuinely shocked. I thought that Jack was in this show far more than he actually is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I went into When It Calls to Heart thinking that Jack is legitimately in all 5 seasons.
What's his total on-screen time in the last season?
Oh, gosh. What, 4 episodes?
A couple hundred minutes, maybe?
Maybe.
In the last season and a half? Maybe. Yeah. If we're lucky. And he was in 6 or 7 episodes, but like you said, we think it's Jack and Elizabeth up here, and everybody else is kind of no.
That happens through the first 3, but then really once you hit season 4, Jack's in
4 and 5. I don't know if there's any actor you would call a lead actor of this show.
I just want to say this out loud. In this season, Jack at some point is going to come back. They're going to get married. He's going to die. And the episode to kick off this season, the primary storyline is a tonic tummy ache.
Is it? They're all bad storylines, but yes,
I would say what else is the
Gowan is the one I would think is the primary one. The ends with the big court case, but that probably gets the most screen time. The tonic one does.
The least important plot line in all of this is Elizabeth.
But you know what's crazy is that she's the D line, because the Kevin Smith being sheriff gets a lot more play.
That's B.
That's C. Gowan, then Tummy Tonic, then Kevin Smith is sheriff.
And at one point,
I link those two together.
Well, no,
because they're 2 different storylines.
Because he's trying to figure.
You're right.
Because he's got a whole bit with Pascal Hutton.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Just kills.
Dave, what do you think of this episode?
Guys, we listed those 4 storylines. Every one is worse than the previous one. I don't know what to tell you. It took me 10 minutes to feel like I had taken a sedative. Like, I just hated every second of this and wanted it to be Christmas time where I barely had a minute to sleep. Like, I sat down, I started it, we were back in the saddle, and immediately I regretted all of my life decisions. Gosh, it's bad, guys.
I mean, really I will say we're 2 weeks in, and I really miss Christmas. I really miss Christmas.
I mean, I could have done with anything that wasn't this. Like, this was
Christmas treasure.
Yes. Wow. Yes, for sure. This was just time stand still bad, and I'm not excited about the season to come. The one thing that made this whole thing palatable was Jack and Elizabeth, and we're just not going to get any of that. And when Gavin was a terrible human being, Gavin and Gowan, your kids, okay? Gowan was a terrible human being, but clearly, that ship has sailed. So we're just here with just bad storylines after bad storylines. It literally, the best part of this episode was, you're going to think I'm crazy, the comedic stylings of Kevin Smith. Him playing I don't know how to sheriff for laughs.
No, I agree with that.
Was the closest thing to good.
Agree.
And don't get me wrong, it was an F. It was an F. But it was the best thing this had to offer. Yes. And that is sad. Yeah. I was just miserable.
Well, agree, disagree. I had a good time.
Yeah, you did.
I had a good time. It's good to be back. Let's get to the do we do feels on this show?
We do.
Okay, let's do the feels. Panda, what are you feeling?
Yeah. How about tonic? Tonic feels.
You had tonic feels.
Tonic feels.
So I'm live.
Tonic's a band, a real band in
Yeah,
real
Tonic
that's-
feels.
Yeah, tonic feels.
So you had tonic the band feels?
Yeah.
Or tonic like you drink it to
Tonic.
get better tonic?
Yeah, you drink it to get better tonic. I will have really. I think, provided there hadn't been poison in it, I would have liked to try an old school tonic.
Right on, man.
I like the bottle
Probably
that
just
tonics
had
are in.
laudanum or cocaine in it, in all honesty.
Yeah. Which is wild. I mean, you just think about that. But I also think that the bottles they always came in were just top-notch tonic bottles.
Yeah,
Top-notch
man.
tonic bottles. I did see them.
It was good to see Marvelous. What's his name?
Marvelous Jim.
Marvelous Jim.
Who
Gosh,
has
what a guy.
Managed to look the exact same for a decade. Well, actually, that's only 4 years apart. Just kidding.
Yeah.
This was 2018. So it's only 4 years apart.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. He looks great.
looks
I love
great.
that guy.
Looks
Good,
great.
good to see him, and good to be seen by him.
Yeah. Now, he was...
Wait, good to be seen by him?
You don't, you have to
I
ask-
don't know about
I'm not
that.
going to let you ask a question.
I think it was him. Someone in this episode, I think it's Marvelous Jim, is aggressively dressed like modern day. Like, aggressively, like, he didn't even... Wardrobe didn't do a thing for him. Like, they just walked in and they just did it. I think it's him.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. No, it's a no for me. No feels. I'm sorry. There is a moment where Aunt Becky gives an impassioned speech in a court, and I guess I'll save it for my wait what, because I did get a lot of feels from it, but it's not good feels.
Let's do that. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back here in Oklahoma. We're back, everybody. We're talking One Calls Heart, Season 1, Season 5, Episode 1, Believing. Believe you me. It's
You
time.
said season 1 briefly, and
Yep.
I got a little bit terrified.
Yeah, it was sad.
Peed myself a bit.
Boy. It's time for the Wait What, a Sparta show. We talk about what in this episode made us go, wait, what? Panda.
I just wrote down, it's ironic that Paul Green is against a guy who believes in miracle cures. Which is the first thing I wrote
Yeah,
down.
that's almost 2 on the nose.
It was
That's more on the nose than Aunt Becky's court stuff.
It was very on the nose.
Yeah.
Just very ironic. No one is painting with watercolors.
I will say, though,
no. Later in the show, Paul takes him out
of the woods and gives him a piece of paper and says, this is the good.
These are the actual, authentic, organic stuff.
Yeah.
So that's very on brand for Paul.
The fact that Paul would take someone out to the woods and give him a piece of paper and says, trust me.
It was whiplash. I didn't know what to believe by
And
the end
then-
of this episode. It was
and
very
then later
confusing.
I'll teach you how to make an eggplant so good you'll want to kiss your mama.
Chef's kiss.
You guys are the worst.
No one is painting with watercolors in the scene. I just want to point that out. The paint brushes are bone dry. Those kids are just sitting there. Nothing's happening.
It's a butt.
It's a butt.
It's a butt.
Call back.
As a former mayor, what they ask her, as a former mayor, what do you think of Gowan's job? And she approves. And she approves of Gowan. And I just want to point out, it's just the wait what in general. And she still loves Gowan. And then finally, I have time served. How is it time served?
Yeah.
This
This is what I wrote, which you can't repeat.
Yeah, no, that's what I think I said out loud when I saw it.
And I wrote it, just to be clear.
What's sad is the first time I watched it, I did drift during that scene, and then I came back, I watched it, and I went, huh. I replayed it, and I sat there, I said, no, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So we're good.
Yep.
I have a couple. I want to know what was the big idea, boys, with the whole snail in the classroom bit.
That is the biggest way. Let's walk this back a second.
You know what's really going to get everybody riled up? The slowest animal in the world.
I don't know if you know this. Snails are notoriously slow. Like, that's their whole
Man, that's
bit.
going to freak everybody out.
and here's the thing.
They're going to see it coming.
Here's the thing is, he's on the opposite aisle from her.
Yeah.
So she literally has minutes to prepare. Like, it's going to take that snail 10 to 15 minutes. At any point, she can just get up and walk away.
What was their big idea?
I don't know. Here's how we get her. Were there no slugs available?
Man.
Snail.
Snail.
But that guy's looking at it, and she says, oh!
Yeah.
Oh, no!
I know.
Oh my gosh, that snail's going to get me tomorrow.
What am I going to do?
Have you ever thought about what it would be like if you were a snail and you had to move that slow? Like, I mean, like, do you think they talk that slow?
Man, this is a great.
My impression of a snail on a turtle's back.
Did you come up with that? Did you come up with that right now?
That was gold.
Man.
That's gold.
Yeah.
That's good.
Almost didn't get it out. That was really funny. The wind is just the G-force.
That snail is just like,
he can't.
oh my God. Whoa.
Give me a helmet.
You see my new model turtle?
In this scenario, is the turtle, is he driving? Is that a real turtle? He's just driving like a car shaped like a turtle?
It's a real turtle. Snail bot turtle.
Man.
It's quick.
So I know that Bill's just basically like, man, like, what's the worst that can happen putting Lee in charge? Well, here's the worst thing that could happen. Lee, and I just want a man's wagon is stolen.
Yeah.
And Lee puts that guy in jail.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah.
That is, you cannot put a guy in jail for getting his stuff stolen. That's the worst that could happen.
Yeah.
I wrote down in this episode, no one even tries to follow the law all episode.
No.
They're not even, they're doing the reverse. What would the law do? Do the reverse of that.
And I just couldn't, I couldn't believe just the way they just throw this line in. This is the judge that imposes the maximum sentence in every case.
Yes.
Every case he's ever done.
Yep.
Maximum sentence. That's brutal. Hope you don't get that guy. I hope you've also served some time because he might sprinkle a little in there. Dan?
You took my two big ones. The snail was my biggest one. The law was the other. But we have to talk about this court case. I just want to be clear. Bill Avery is a deputized man of the law who has actual evidence against Gowan. And Lori Loughlin, Abigail, is a character witness for a man who's not only murdered her husband, but has consistently just committed crimes left and right.
Yes.
And her son.
Financial crimes, murder, cover up, accessory, you name it.
Fashion?
And she has
Don't you? He has been a sharp dresser.
10 of 10 every time.
I kid. That's the thing. He kills in more.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She has the gall to say this line in court in his defense. If you're going to judge the man, judge the whole man. First of all, lady, not how it works. Second of all, if you do, it's going to go worse for you.
Yeah.
It's not going to go better. It's not like he's like saving puppies and helping orphanages on the weekend. He's killing people and covering his tracks. Don't judge the whole man. The best defense for Gowan is, let's look at this in a vacuum. Let's look at just this one act and give him some leniency. Do not expand to other actions of Henry Gowan or that sentence will be longer.
Yeah.
And she uses that defense in a court of law.
Not a good idea.
The fact that they have completely brushed aside season 1 Gowan.
It's just so sad.
Like I listen, I am all about giving a character redemption, but they've completely forgotten the fact.
Well,
yes.
I think they just so desperately want. I'll say that. Tell you this, but it may come up again later. I think they so desperately want to give a redemption speech that they don't give a crap. They don't care that the characters haven't earned that speech yet. And they just do it. And so they're like, this book was written by a Christian. We're going to give this godly message. And there's nothing in there that would actually make you... The redemption is great when people don't deserve it, but it's great when you feel as though, in your soul, like it moves you. And this doesn't move anybody. It's just like,
But it's not
Dumb.
even. But I mean, it's not, and it's also because it's not real redemption. Because what they're doing here is they're glossing over redemption occurs
That's right.
in spite of your worst.
That's right.
In spite of your worst. But instead, what they're having to do is they can't do that,
Yes.
and so they're having to they trivialize redemption, and at the same time, while diminishing his. I know this gets heavy, but like at the same, it is a travesty. And I haven't read the book, but I imagine that this is the book, knowing that I think her name's Jeanette Oak.
Sure.
Okie. Let's say Okie.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
I think, I haven't read her other stuff, but my understanding is she's a pretty good writer. I can't imagine that she would have written a character that would have been this trivialized. It's a shame.
The series kicks off with a mega funeral.
Yes.
That he is responsible
That's right.
for.
Yes.
That's right. Directly.
To just cover that up.
And then he covers that
Then
up.
he covers that up.
You know.
But there's also with When Calls the Heart, as I'm thinking back on that first episode, there's become just this very frivolous feel to the show in general.
Yes.
Like the gravitas of the first season.
Gosh, that first episode meant something.
Yes.
Like him and Hall, you guys both loved it. I still was down on it, but the reality is that there were stakes, like
Yes.
legit weight in that.
You had the church burning.
That was later in that season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what happened to the pastor? Did we ever find out what happened to him?
I think he's just gone.
Yeah, forgive me, Paul.
No, the Reverend from later seasons. That guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he wasn't in this.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but like my thing is like there was genuine, like now I just sit there and it feels as if it's just this offbeat kind of comedic, and
bad.
it's just
It's really bad.
It's a shame because you had something really
Real
good.
snail on the floor situation. Am I right?
Don't
boys?
you ever make fun of that?
It's time for hills and valleys, hopes and
Hopes and
valleys.
valleys. But yes, it is.
We were talking about things that were giving us hope for the future and or potentially bowing us out. Panda?
So what gives me hope, I know that Jack's imminent demise is coming, and that bums me out. But he's kind of dead already in the show, so I guess it doesn't really matter. My hope is that the events that are transpiring are getting ready to transpire. The wedding, and then her getting pregnant, all these things, that's going to at least make some of these episodes more interesting, and Jack's return. So that gives me hope. I'm looking forward to that. Valley is... man, I don't know what they're going to do for the rest of this season. You've resolved the Gowan plot point. What else is there other than what? I have no clue. Where's the show now? I have no clue.
And I'm just going to skip you because it ties into that. My only hope of this entire show, aside from getting to watch all the reactions to Jack dying, is the fact that if you're going to be this bad, you need to go just whole hog. And I think Gowan and Abigail need to get together. And I am hoping that happens because this show deserves that plot line.
Yes.
It does. And the Valley is the rest of it in my life as we move forward.
My hope is that we will get more of Elizabeth's sister and bring back Jack's brother. And let's run it back, boys.
Could we get in that car?
Let's run it back.
Teach him that.
I don't dislike her sister, and so
Makes one of us.
I'm happy. Maybe she'll do some stuff. The Valleys, you guys got them already. You know where we're at.
You know where we're at. Boy, don't we?
Smolder
alert.
Zero. Pocket watch
negativo.
0. And
what's calling my heart?
And
Red winter. Meat pie.
Potluck.
Pie. Meatloaf. Hot dog.
No. Shepherd's pie?
Is it
Shepherd's Pie watch?
No shepherd's pie.
No shepherd's pie this
Glad we
episode.
added that
And
one.
we're going to drop
Really
that
remember.
segment because we don't remember it.
I love that. So our last episode was on mid-October.
Yeah.
And we had 3 What's Calling My Hearts come in then, and then we've had a few that are newer. But this first one that we had come in, because I go chronological, you can email us in about What's Calling Your Heart. hello@deckthehallmark.com.
Hello.
This is from Thomas Newman.
Thomas.
And I read ahead here because a couple of these jokes I don't remember, so maybe help me. I remember Dear Dan Brand and the soon-to-be hot take champion of the known universe. So I think that was when he was in the throes of that competition.
Yeah,
but it was just for the stage.
Man,
We've not gotten to the universe yet.
No,
but this guy's confident. Thomas is. So thank you, Thomas.
Yeah, I'm trajecting upward.
You're trajecting upwards.
This
He's evolving ever. All right, Shakespeare, calm it down. All right, it's me again. This is
gonna
an
do
email.
Shakespeare, and I started off very wrong.
That's what you said. Is that your Shakespeare?
No, I think that's him. I think.
You don't know any Shakespeare. To be or not to be.
I am evolving ever evolving.
That sounds like if Rig did Shakespeare is what it sounds like.
Skeleton head.
I just want to point out the only exposure to Shakespeare you have is Boy Meets World.
That's
isn't
it.
No, I saw the Romeo and Juliet remake movie with who's in that?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah. Was that shown in school when you were in high school? Yeah.
No doubt.
There it is.
Shout out to Miss Elder. What up?
They're keeping it real. Culturally relevant, yo.
No doubt.
It's me again.
Hey.
I've never heard any of you mention it, but I'm a huge fan of the Andy Griffith Show. Thomas, why would we mention that you're a huge fan of the Andy Griffith Show? Doesn't even make any sense. I spent my childhood watching it with my dad, and for the last 8 or 9 years, we have made an annual pilgrimage to Mount Airy, North Carolina for Mayberry Days. I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah. Real
Mayberry Days. I miss Mayberry. Sitting on the porch drinking ice cold cherry Cokes.
Yeah. Man, every day.
Everything was black and white.
Everything.
Picking on a 6 string. People pass by. They call you by your first name.
Oh, yeah.
Watching the clouds roll by. With all that being said, what's calling my heart after our most recent trip there this past weekend is the new movie Mayberry Man. This sounds made up. It's about a hotshot Hollywood actor that gets sentenced to attending a festival modeled after Mayberry Days. It has all the characteristics of a classic Hallmark movie with the added hijinks one would expect to see in a loving tribute to Mayberry. I think y'all would really enjoy watching it, and I know there are enough wait-whats to keep you busy for a while. That sounds like a fun movie, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mayberry Man?
Yeah, Mayberry Man. Sincerely, Clafner can kick rocks. Is Clafner the guy you were competing against?
Yeah, Clafner.
P.S. Tracy has been emailing me nonstop asking me to explain the 4 for 2. I have done my best to explain it to her, but I promised I would ask Rig to give her a more thorough explanation.
Yeah, so what? We get into it, back and forth.
Are you trying to do a me impersonation, Trace?
What?
It sounds like you're a little New Yorker.
No.
No,
You're
but
a
I'm
little
from
New York. You're a little bit California.
Boys, how you doing? This is my first time in the new year. You guys doing all right?
Happy New
Keeping your
Year,
shirts
Rick.
on?
Hey, shirt on, spirits high.
How was your New Year's? Mine was fantastic.
Why was it so good?
Oh, we were at Fitzy's. It got out of bounds.
Really?
Yeah. Fitzy Toff cocktails were on special.
What is it?
Fitzy.
A Fitzy Toff cocktail.
Fitzy Toft?
A Fitzy Toff cocktail.
50's
Try again. Big
Fitzy's
brain.
Fitzy's
A
Toft?
Fitzy Toff cocktail.
What's a Fitzy's Toft cocktail?
It's like a
Go ahead.
It's like
Bandy. You're so small.
Molotov.
What's a Molotov cocktail?
It's one of those things where you put alcohol and there's a fire.
You throw it and it explodes.
Yeah, it explodes.
Okay, so you know we play human darts.
yeah.
Yes.
We get a little Infuego in the mix, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I
First
don't.
of all, you got to take a shot of toffee whiskey. That's where the Fitzy Toff comes in. It's a special beverage we sell there. And Fitzy loves to drink it, so we normally don't get any, if you know what I mean. You know what they say about Fitzy after he's had a few toffee shots?
What do they say?
If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably Fitzy after he's had some toffee shots.
That's a funny saying, Rick. And true. And
I
true.
do what I can. Let's just wrap the show.
We'll be back tomorrow with the first ever signed, sealed, delivered.
I'm yours.
It was a full movie, and then we dive into the
Show
series.
next week. That's right.
Very excited about it. Until then, may we be the first to wish you a
Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmarks of Bramble Jam podcast. It's presented by Philo TV. It's produced by Brandon Gray and recorded live in, Greenville, South Carolina. Set decor is by Plum at Haywood Mall. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on Bramble Jam Podcast Network, you can go to bramblejampodcast.com.